Good afternoon, everyone. Please be seated. It's come to my attention that the jury has reached a verdict. Is that correct?
That's our understanding, Your Honor.
All right. If we could please have the jury step into the jury box. Ladies and gentlemen, it's come to my attention that you have reached a verdict in this case. Is that correct?
It is.
Are you the full person?
I am.
Would you please stand and state your name?
My name is Jody Funderburk.
Mr. Funderburk, is the verdict form filled out?
It is.
And is it signed and dated by you?
It is.
All right. Would you please publish your verdict to the court? In other words, read.
For count one, malice murder, we the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, not guilty. Count two, felony murder. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, not guilty. Count three, aggravated assault. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count four, felony murder. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, not guilty. Count five, cruelty to children in the first degree. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count six, felony murder. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count seven, aggravated battery. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count eight, murder in the second degree. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count nine, cruelty to children in the second degree. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 10, aggravated assault. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 11, cruelty to children in the first degree. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 12, aggravated assault. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 13, cruelty to children in the first degree. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 14, aggravated assault. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 15, cruelty to children in the first degree. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 16, aggravated assault. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 17, cruelty to children in the first degree. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 18, aggravated assault. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 19, cruelty to children in the first degree. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 20, aggravated assault. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 21, cruelty to children in the first degree. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 22, aggravated assault. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 23, cruelty to children in the first degree. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 24, aggravated assault. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 25, cruelty to children in the first degree. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 26, aggravated assault. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 27, cruelty to children in the first degree. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 28, aggravated assault. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 29, cruelty to children in the first degree. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 30, aggravated assault. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 31, cruelty to children in the first degree. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 32, aggravated assault. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We the jury find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, not guilty. Count 33, cruelty to children in the first degree. We the jury find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, not guilty. Count 34, cruelty to children in the first degree. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, not guilty. Count 35, aggravated battery. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, not guilty. Count 36, aggravated assault. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, not guilty. Count 37, cruelty to children in the first degree. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, not guilty. Count 38, cruelty to children in the first degree. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, not guilty. Count 39, aggravated battery. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, not guilty. Count 40, cruelty to children in the first degree. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, not guilty. Count 41, aggravated battery. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, not guilty. Count 42, cruelty to children in the first degree. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 43, aggravated battery. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 44, aggravated assault. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 45, cruelty to children in the first degree. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 46, aggravated assault. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 47, cruelty to children in the first degree. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 48, cruelty to children in the second degree. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Count 49, cruelty to children in the second degree. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jennifer Michelle Rosenbaum, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Michael Rosenbaum, guilty. Dated this first day of August 2019.
All right. Thank you, sir. Would you please pass the verdict form to the sheriff's deputy, who will give it to the parties so they can inspect it as before? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, before we begin with the polling, do both of the parties, both the state and the defense, agree, have any objection to the form of the verdict?
Not the same.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, there has been a request from the defense that the jury be polled. What this means is that I have to ask each of you a few questions. And let me start with our foreperson, as I'll work my way across the top, and then across the bottom, and then back into the front. Sir, please stand again and state your name.
Jody Funderburg.
Mr. Funderburg, the verdict that you published here at open court, was that your verdict when it was reached in the jury room?
Yes, sir, it is.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes, sir, it was.
Is this verdict still your verdict?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, thank you. Please proceed. Sir, please stand and state your name.
James Brown.
Mr. Brown, was the verdict that was published in open court, was that your verdict when it was reached in the jury room?
Yes, sir.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes, sir.
Is this verdict still your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please proceed. Ma'am, please stand and state your name.
Mickey Francis?
Ms. Francis, you've heard this verdict that was published in open court.
Yes, sir.
Was that your verdict when it was reached in the jury room?
Yes, sir.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes, sir.
Is the verdict that was published here in open court still your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Please be seated.
Ashley Pugh?
Ms. Pugh, you heard the verdict as it was published by your foreperson in open court, true?
Yes, sir.
Was that your verdict when it was reached in the jury room?
Yes, sir.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes, sir.
Is the verdict that was announced in open court still your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Thank
Laila Marie
you.
Daniel. Crawford.
Ms. Crawford, you heard the verdict that was published here in open court, true? And was that your verdict when it was reached in the jury room?
Yes, sir.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes, sir.
And is that verdict still your verdict?
Yes,
Ma'am?
Michaela Kettle?
Ms. Kettle, you heard the verdict that was announced in open court. Was that your verdict when it was reached in the jury room?
Yes.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes.
Is this verdict still your verdict?
Yes.
Please proceed. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you will please stand and state your name.
Laura Walker.
Your last name again, please.
Walker.
Welkers. Ms. Welkers, you've heard the verdict that was published here in open court, true?
Yes.
Was that your verdict when it was reached in the jury room?
Yes.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes.
Is the verdict as published here in open court still your verdict?
Yes.
Thank you. Please proceed. Sir.
Dennis Dean.
Mr. Daniel, you've heard the verdict that was published here in open court, true?
Yes.
Was that your verdict when it was reached in the jury room?
Yes, sir.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you? Is the verdict as published still your verdict?
Yes.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Clarence Davis.
Mr. Davis, you've heard the verdict that was published here in open court.
Yes.
Was that your verdict when it was reached in the jury room?
Yes, sir.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes, sir.
Is that verdict as published in open court still your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please proceed.
William McClenny?
Mr. McElhenney, you've heard the verdict that was published in open court.
Yes.
Was that your verdict when it was reached in the jury room?
Yes.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes.
Is that verdict that was published in open court still your verdict?
Yes.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Gregory Harris.
Mr. Harris, you've heard the verdict that was published here in open court. Was that your verdict when it was reached in the jury room? Was it freely and voluntarily made by you? And is the verdict as published here in open court still your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Hernandez Dennis.
Mr. Dennis, you've heard the verdict that was published here in open court.
Yes.
Was that your verdict when it was reached in the jury room?
Yes.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes.
Is the verdict as published here in open court still your verdict?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Please proceed. All right. Is there anything else before this jury is dismissal? All right, ladies and gentlemen, your service in this case is concluded. Thank you for your time and your attention throughout the course of this case and for your service. At this time, you're going to be excused and custody of the sheriff's deputy and brought safely to your cars, and we'll be sure that you make your way safely home. Thank you again for your time, your attention, and your service, and you are excused. Okay, go ahead. Please be seated. Okay. All right, that's everybody. I'm ready to proceed directly to sentencing. Is the state ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's right.
No, Your Honor, we would ask for sentencing hearing at a later date so we have an opportunity to bring in witnesses.
I'm going to go ahead and deny the request for sentencing at a later date and proceed directly to sentencing at this time. Is there any evidence from the state?
Yes, I do have some business.
All right.
Getting that, we make a phone call to see about getting people up here to speak to the court on sentencing matters. There are people who wanted to speak on this issue if this came up. And we just like a brief moment to call them.
The judge actually went out to get some of the statements, they were waiting till the jurors cleared the hall for the arrival for that video.
Why don't we take then just a 10-minute recess to give you an opportunity to get your witnesses together and also to give Ms. Small an opportunity to reach out to her folks to the extent she's able to get them here in the next few minutes. The reason that we're not holding this is because, of course, this is something that the parties could have a plan for should this eventuality occur. Thank you.
Remain seated, come to order.
Okay, go back. I'll hear everything to say.
Yes, Judge Moore.
Right there, please.
Okay, Judge.
Good evening. I'm here to speak on behalf of my family. Throughout this entire trial, the defense has tried to paint a pretty picture for you all, so I would like to do the same. It's July 18th and it's a celebration. My niece, Laila Marie Daniel, is turning 6 years old today. While she's outside playing with her sisters and her friends she made this year in kindergarten, we are prepping her birthday cake with 6 candles. She's surrounded by gifts and decorations, but most importantly, she's surrounded by love. I picture the happy, smiling, and healthy little girl so many people knew her to be, and it breaks my heart, bringing tears to my eyes every time I think of how she would look now and how happy she would be. The truth of it all, exactly 2 weeks ago today, it was July 18th, 2019, and instead of attending Layla's 6th birthday, I was here with you all listening to the brutal details that her and her sister went through while living with the Rosenbaums. We've had to sit through and witness photos of an innocent 2-year-old speaking in a broken little body and listen to the horror that ended up in her murder impacting my family. To Millie and Layla, I was, and I still am, their Aunt Cat. And during this trial, our side of the family's efforts and suffering throughout this process have gone untold. We love Layla, and we would have done anything for her. Before my nieces were placed in any homes, I took Layla everywhere with me. She looked just like her Aunt Cat, so much that everyone in the family would call her my mini-me. She was more than my niece, she was my baby. And I was excited for her to experience life, to learn, to grow, and to hopefully see her continue to look like me for the rest of her life. We went through the proper steps. We had our home set up. We took the drug test. My brother was working through his case plan. It was Jennifer that didn't do the proper steps in line. DFACS put a stop to all of my wishes for Layla, overlooking our efforts, and instead placed Layla in a home that would be her last. While the defense tried to paint this pretty picture for you of the loving Rosenbaums with their 2 foster children, they also tried to focus on the mother's side of the family's flaws to try and make you believe that nobody in these girls' lives loved them like the Rosenbaums. But as we witnessed, that is not the case. We all love those girls more than they ever did or could. We heard a witness testify that grief comes in stages, and it usually takes 48 hours or 2 sleep cycles to get a full grasp on the trauma someone has experienced. Since I lost Layla, I've had nearly 4 years of sleep cycles. And my thoughts on the outcome of this trial have changed throughout these years. I respectfully ask that they both be sentenced to life in prison without parole, bringing them plenty of sleep cycles to come to terms with what they've done. To think of the pain they inflicted upon these girls, and to count up the days that they were so selfishly and hatefully took away from my Layla. Thank you, Your Honor, for giving me this time
All right,
to represent my family.
And please state your true and correct name.
My name is Laila Daniel.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for the opportunity today to be the voice for my girls, Layla's sisters. 4 years ago, almost to the day, Millie and Layla moved into the Rosenbaum house. The girls were told they would be safe, they could trust them, and knew that this was a good thing. However, 3.5 very long months later, we found out the truth. During their time living a life of hell on earth, these babies didn't feel like they had a voice. Even now, almost 4 years later, Millie's being made out to be a liar when in fact, Jennifer's the one who taught her to lie in the first place. Thankfully, we have all heard the evidence which supports Millie's statements back then and still today. Jennifer's the one who has been proven without a doubt to be the real liar. While Jennifer and Joseph have been free to live their lives for the past 4 years, Millie has been learning to live a life without her sister and learning to trust and feel safe again. Layla's younger sisters will live the rest of their life mourning a relationship they will never get to have. They will only know their big sister Layla through 2 short years worth of pictures and stories they will only hear secondhand. I teach my girls each and every day about choices and consequences. Jennifer and Joseph make horrible choices that will forever affect the lives of so many, but most of all Layla and Millie. Most of the adults in Millie and Layla's lives failed them repeatedly. It's time to show Millie her voice was heard and it matters. We need to show Millie and everyone else that what happened in that house is not okay. I want Millie to feel safe riding her bike in the front yard again. I want Millie to be able to trust her judgment in good and bad people again. I want Millie to believe in and trust the justice system when she is older. Now is the time, albeit long overdue, for Jennifer and Joseph to face the consequences of their actions or lack thereof in Joseph's case. I respectfully ask that you sentence both Jennifer and Joseph Rosenbaum to the maximum time allowed for each and every count they have been convicted of.
And ma'am, would you please state your full name?
Amanda Errol.
All right, thank you, and we appreciate you being here.
My name is Kimberly Fry, and I am Millie and Layla's great aunt. And I'm going to read my mother-in-law's impact statement for her, Peggy Banks. How has your heinous act affected my family? Well, let me count the ways. First and foremost is the obvious, the loss of my precious great-granddaughter, Laila Marie, which has left a sizable hole in our family and in our hearts. Layla will never experience her first day of school or look forward to summer vacations from school. She will never celebrate high school or college graduation, never have the excitement of her first date or looking forward to planning her wedding. Layla will never experience motherhood and certainly never give me any great-grandchildren, excuse me. All because of their selfish need to inflict the ultimate harm on a 2-year-old baby girl. Layla's death obviously had the most impact on her parents, but also affected her grandparents, great-grandparents as well, and not to mention aunts, uncles, cousins, including our children and siblings. I'm most concerned about Millie, as she was most directly impacted, and in a negative way. This child has been in counseling and therapy ever since this happened. Her life will certainly never be the same. I fear the complete effect on Millie may be felt for years to come, possibly lasting the rest of her life. Now Layla has 2 more little sisters who will never know or be able to love her as we did, never be able to play with her, look up to her, or call her their big sister. Your actions also negatively affected the Department of Family and Children's Services and the foster care system program, setting it back decades. The entire community has been upset over this murder. In fact, the family frequently heard from people in other states, some who traveled here to offer consolation and support. Finally, your own lives are forever ruined as a result of their hatred and abuse of these sweet little girls who never hurt anyone in their short lives. And I hope they have a long, long time to think about their actions and all the lives that have been affected by them. Peggy Banks.
Thank you, ma'am, and we appreciate you being here.
My name is Kim Smith, and I am Layla's great-great-aunt. That may sound like a very distant relative, but believe me, it was not. I wasn't there when Layla was born, but within a year she became a very bright, bubbly, sweet addition to my life. I am the last relative, besides Millie, that saw her and held her for the last time that she was alive. That day will haunt me forever. I saw something in her eyes that wasn't quite right, but I didn't act because I didn't know. Just the fact that the girls were in foster care impacted our family. It was dysfunctional at best. The girls were moved from pillar to post over and over. So when the Rosenbaums were to get the girls, we really did think that it would be a stable situation until our family could get them back. Fast forward to November 17th, 2015, the death of Layla and the trauma for Millie. Then the details began to surface. We mourned Layla, and we mourned with Millie. The media attention, we didn't ask for that. It was pushed upon us. Our family didn't want a civil case with defects. We wanted our Layla back. Lawyers, district attorneys, judges, all coming and going and changing. The case being scheduled and delayed again and again. This has been weighing heavy on our hearts for 4.5 years. From now on, we'll refer to our life before Layla died or after Layla died. We've had many people pray for our family, some from all over the world. Most all people you meet are disgraced by anyone that would harm an innocent child, much less beat a child until her internal organs tear and bleed and her bones break. To traumatize a child while she witnesses this happening to her sister, knowing it would happen to her as well. Jennifer and Joseph, you not only killed Layla and traumatized Millie for the rest of her life, you also broke the hearts of everyone that knew her and the hearts of your family as well. In my deepest time of grief and despair, I pleaded with God to let me just see Layla again. I didn't want to remember her lifeless, unrecognizable body in that baby coffin. That could not be my last memory of her. That night, Jesus gave me the sweetest dream of Layla in heaven. Layla's body is perfect now, just the way God created her to be. Oh, her hair is healthy again, not straw-like and falling out. It is shiny and longer now, like Millie's. And when she runs in the meadows of wildflower, it bounces. There is yummy food there, and she can eat it whenever she wants. There are ponies and puppies there, and kittens too. And Jesus always has time to play with her. There is so much love and happiness. There is no room for anger or bitterness. Everyone there is like family. But she really does have family there. Lots and lots of family. And she can't wait till the rest of us get there. Layla is in heaven, waiting for all of us. Thank you to everyone that prayed for my family. Jesus heard every prayer, and he comforted and loved on and provided peace to all that simply asked. Jennifer and Joseph, forgiveness has taken the place of hate and bitterness in my heart. However, we all must pay the consequences of sins, and according to the laws of this land, punishment of murder must be met. You have been found guilty, and I pray that you are punished to the full extent of the law. I also pray for your souls. To this day, I have not seen 1 ounce of remorse, 1 ounce of acknowledgement to the horror that you put these girls through. Yes, God will have the final judgment, and may he have mercy on your souls. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Does that conclude the state's evidence? One more?
Yes.
Okay.
Joseph Daniel, and I'm Layla's mom. And I just wanted to say that they were given the opportunity to have a really precious baby in their life, and instead they took her life. And I've blamed myself over the last 4 years a lot for what's happened to my baby, because of my actions that caused her to be in their home. But I just want to say that now I see that I don't have to blame myself anymore, because I never hurt my babies. I love them very much. And I just hope that the time that they do in there, I hope that they really have time to feel something. I hope that they can feel something. And
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here. All right. Is there any additional evidence from the state?
No, no.
Ms. Small, you got to respond to the next.
Yes, Your Honor. We can't be, Mrs. Michael Rosenbaum should come up first. Somebody like him to stand.
Just right here would be fine.
Your Honor, my name is Michael Rosenbaum. I'm Joseph's father. I don't have a piece of paper I'm not reading in front of you, so I'm not prepared for this statement, but please be lenient. I know this all could have been prevented if the biological mother and the family, it started when that child was born, it starts with them. That's the first step of responsibility. This all could have been prevented if they would have took that responsibility and not committed themselves with drugs and alcohol. That's a sad thing. Alcohol and drugs are bad. But just please, minimum sentence, if whatever minimum, and KSCF and diabetes. Just please have the state take care of them and suicide watch. I don't want to take his life. Okay.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying here.
My name is Mike Jackson. I've had the honor of knowing her for the last 6 months. She's worked with me.
And I've heard all this stuff, but knowing her like I've known her for 6 months, most Christian lady I've ever met in my life. I've seen her stay after work and make gifts for the kids at her church. And I go to my grave thinking she did not kill that child. The child died, but I think it died of her trying to save it. That's all I can say.
All right, is there any other evidence from the defense?
My name's downtime. I don't know the Jennifer that has been portrayed in this courtroom. I know a smart, plenty kind, generous, and faithful person. I respect our justice system and I respect this process, but I fear this time they got it wrong. I've had many people question my loyalty to Jennifer during this ordeal. But the things said in this courtroom and the accusations that were made are completely inconsistent with the person that I know. She's been through more in her short lifetime than most people ever have, and she thrived. Jennifer and Joseph were broken by the death of Layla, completely broken. They loved those girls with their whole hearts. The ripple effect of this accident is so far-reaching, as evidenced by all of the people here today. But I do believe that's what it was, a tragic accident. They will never recover. No one in this room will. I respectfully ask you to have mercy on Jennifer and Joseph to the extent that you're able.
My name is Summer Wells. I was with those girls most of the summer that year. There was nothing wrong with them. They weren't hurt. My son knew them. He grew up with them. We went with them everywhere. My sister and my brother-in-law loved them like that they were their own. And my son is going to be in pieces when he figures out he's never going to see her again, or whatever you choose. I believe in the justice system that they did get it wrong this time. And they didn't prove anything when they stood up there and did their whole thing and whatever else they did. But my son, he loves them with everything in them. And his 10-year-old self is going to be very upset when I go home to tell him that he's never going to see again. And every time I show him pictures of Layla and Millie, he talks about them too. And so I know that they got this wrong this time. And the death threats we've been receiving and everything we've been receiving from that side of the courtroom and their little group and everything like that, for them to sit up here and say the things that they've been saying about my family and Jennifer and Joseph is beyond me. So please.
Your Honor, I don't have a speech. I didn't know I was going to be coming up here, so I'm just going to speak from my heart. I'm Joseph's mom, and I've known Jen for 10 years, since 2009. Everything that I feel in my core, everything that I have ever seen, they were good parents, both of them. They would never do this. It was an accident. I don't care what anybody says. Please, be lenient on them. My son is going to die in prison because they're not going to take care of him. Like he's had the care that he's needed on the outside. So I've lost my son. And not just a present, but I have actually lost my son. I am sure. So please be lenient. That's all I have.
All right.
Thank you.
Ms. Hall, anything else? Thank you. Let's turn to argument. I think it's the right opening.
Yes, Judge. I will start with the matter of the indictment and what charges will be vacated as a matter of law and which ones will not. I would say that as counts 3, counts 5, and counts 7 would be vacated as a matter of law into count 6, the felony murder. That's pursuant to Anthony versus the State, 303, Georgia, at 399. It's a 2018 case.
Vacated in count 6.
That's correct. Which is the felony murder. The court's sentencing options as far as the felony murder count, the only options the court has is life or life without the possibility of parole. As far as Mr. Rosenbaum, he was convicted of both counts 8 and counts 9. Count 9 would be vacated as a matter of law into count 8. The penalty range for murder in the second degree is 10 to 30 years. As far as the aggravated assault and cruelty to children, pursuant to Kurt versus the State, which is 309 Georgia Appeals 227, and I have a copy for both defense and for the court. Because aggravated assault and cruelty to children in the first degree have different elements that are not present in the other one, as a matter of law, they actually are not vacated, and the court can sentence both of them, sentence the defendants for both of them. So that would be, for example, counts 10 and 11. Pursuant to that case law, they actually would not merge as a matter of law. The same is kind of true throughout the entire indictment. Counts 12 and 13 are related, but pursuant to the case law, they do not merge. Counts 14 and 15 are related, but pursuant to the case law, they do not merge. They're not vacated as a matter of law. 16 and 17, 18 and 19. If you need to slow down, I can do that, Judge. But the cruelty and children, I guess.
So far you're telling me which counts are not vacated.
The aggravated assaults and the cruelty to children counts that I guess are related when you look at the dates, they do not merge as a matter of law. The court can sentence them separately. The same is true with cruelty to children and aggravated battery, because that similarly has an element specifically. Cruelty to children requires cruelty to children, but not aggravated battery, requires proof that the victim was a child under the age of 18 who was caused cruel or excessive mental pain. Aggravated battery, but not cruelty to children, requires proof that the victim was deprived of a member of his or her body, or in this case, as was indicted, such member was rendered useless or seriously disfigured. That is pursuant to Waits, W-A-I-T-S, versus the State. That's 282 Georgia 1, at the 2007 case from our Supreme Court. So similarly, the aggravated battery counts and the cruelty to children counts that have the same date, as a matter of law, they actually are not vacated. The penalty range for aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree, and aggravated battery, each of those carry a penalty range of 1 to 20 years for each of them. As far as the remaining charge that is different than the other ones I just discussed, that would be counts 48 and 49, cruelty to children in the second degree. The penalty range for cruelty to children in the second degree is 1 to 10 years. So the penalty ranges for murder, as I mentioned, there's life without parole. Murder in the second degree is 10 to 30. Aggravated assault for cruelty to children in the first degree and aggravated battery are all 1 to 20. And cruelty to children in the second degree is 1 to 10. Your Honor, as far as argument is concerned, a jury of the Rosenbaum's peers has spoken. This jury clearly deliberated long and hard and came to a very wise and just verdict given the facts that were elicited during the course of this trial. The state is asking, given the egregiousness of this crime, that the fact that this was a 2-year-old victim, that under no circumstances could have ever done anything to either of these two individuals to provoke any of the treatment that they received while living in that home. The fact that there was prior abuse that was shown, and the jury has convicted them not only of the things that were committed on November 17th of 2015, but they were convicted of abuse that occurred prior to that day as well, which was borne by the evidence, specifically multiple fractures, healing fractures, and the evidence that Dr. Darasol was able to see under the microscope when she testified here today. This was not a single incident. This was a pattern of abuse. And given the egregiousness of that, as far as Jennifer Rosenbaum is concerned, the state is seeking a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. Plus, she is also facing, if you total up the remainder of the charges, she's facing a total of life without the possibility of parole plus 780 years. The state is seeking life without the possibility of parole plus all counts to run consecutive. As far as Joseph Rosenbaum is concerned, if you add all of the charges up, Mr. Rosenbaum is facing a maximum possible penalty of 410 years in the Department of Corrections. The state is seeking a penalty for Mr. Rosenbaum of 70 years to serve 50 years in custody, the balance of which to be served on probation. We think that given the evidence that the court has heard during the past during the 3-week trial. I think that these sentences are just given the egregiousness, the seriousness, and the vile things that we heard that occurred in that home. So for those reasons, Your Honor, we would ask the court to follow the state's recommendation.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I want to talk first about Joseph Rosenbaum. Joseph Rosenbaum suffers from cystic fibrosis and has diabetes. His life expectancy is less than half of what the state is asking for in this case. He is faulted with not taking action, which is an act of negligence, is what the jury found. And even if we accept, which we do, the verdict of the jury, they have found him to be negligent. They have found that he was a party to a crime as to the other counts. Your Honor, there was no evidence that Joseph knew or should have known, and that's not even the standard. The standard is that he knew. There was no evidence that he knew. But given the jury's finding, I know the court has to make a decision. I'm asking the court to consider a much, much less sentence, given the fact that this is for negligence, for a negligent act. He was working 2 jobs at the time. He was a correctional officer, and he was working security at Lowe's. He didn't have much time to be around the girls. What time he did, according to the evidence, he was good to them. That was the evidence that was brought out, that he was good to them, that he treated them well, and that he didn't do anything to them. I don't think that warrants 70 years. I think that warrants 5. Your Honor, I would ask you to consider, as I say, the shortness of his life, and that we are not all the sum total of what we do on one day or what we fail to do on one day. These both, Jennifer and Joseph, come to you with absolutely no record whatsoever. They come to you having had no brush with the law whatsoever. Jennifer, Your Honor, was a law student. She was a very good law student. She did a lot for a lot of people, and the girls no lesser than anybody else. As we have heard, the evidence is that she did love them, she did give them the love and care that one would expect. We differ with the jury as to the cause of death, but we understand responsibility, and Jennifer understands responsibility and has always blamed herself. I'm asking that you consider a life sentence for her, and that you not. We have had many criminals come up with life sentences as opposed to life without parole. We reserve life without parole for the most egregious. Jennifer Rosenbaum is not the most egregious of people. She grew up in the foster care system. She was a child of defects for the longest, and she did what she could and what she knew to do best. I'm asking that you consider a life sentence for her. I'm asking the court that you consider the least amount of time you can give for Joseph in this case, and to stack counts against Jennifer defeats the purpose of rehabilitation. This is somebody who comes with no record. Both of these individuals have no record. They have been contributors to the community. You've heard that repeatedly, both during the trial and after the trial. These are not people who have sucked from the community, but instead have given to the community. Again, we are not the worst that we have been on one day. We're made up of more, and I'm asking for mercy for both of these young people, and that you consider minimum sentences for them both. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Small. Any final thoughts? Quickly, Judge.
As far as Mr. Rosenbaum is concerned, Ms. Mull is right in that murder in the second degree is based upon negligence, but that negligence cost Laila Daniel her life. That is the most negligent thing that a person could possibly do, knowing that abuse is going on in the home and doing absolutely nothing about it, leaving Layla in the care of the person who is abusing her. The evidence that he knew was Millie's statements. Millie mentioned that he knew that he would stand there and he would watch. We also heard from Ms. Lambert that Millie actually told her that Joseph had hit her. We know from Millie's statements that he would put icy hot on their wounds, and that He also did nothing regarding the fractures. Millie, when Millie went to the hospital on November 17th of 2015, that was the first time anyone had ever realized that she had a fracture as well, a fracture that would have been painful, a fracture that the doctors testified that any person around a child with that type of fracture would clearly know that it was going on. He did nothing. That negligence has cost Laila Daniel her life and has forever changed Millie's life. For that, I think the state's recommendation is more than reasonable as far as 70 years to serve 50 years in custody. And as far as Mrs. Rosenbaum is concerned, Ms. Moe first said, well, one of the last things she said to this court was that we are not the worst of what happened on one day. I have to remind the court that this is not something that happened just on one day. This was a pattern of abuse that occurred over a relatively short period of time, but it was a pattern of abuse that was incredibly increasing. It was a pattern of abuse that ultimately cost a 2-year-old child her life. And to say that that is not the most egregious thing that this court would ever have to hear is astonishing to me. This has to be one of the most egregious things. When a 2-year-old child is punched or kicked or stomped with blunt force to her torso, severing her pancreas into two, lacerating her liver and her mesentery to the point where she bled out in less than an hour. The final moments of her life, as Dr. Darasaw testified, would have been her bleeding internally, going into shock, and ultimately dying in front of the person who killed her. Those were the last moments that she had on this earth. I can think of nothing more egregious than that. The state asked that the court follow the state's recommendation of life without parole, plus the remainder of the counts to run consecutive.
All right. I'm going to take just a few minutes to review the cases that Mr. Chase has submitted, ensure that they're correct, and I'm going to return with the sentence. During this 10-minute recess, I expect that the court will be observed in the courtroom, outbursts or crosstalk, as between people who are here in support of the defendants and people who are here in support of the state. If you cannot abide by those instructions, then you'll be immediately asked to leave. I hope everybody understands that. I'll be back in just a few moments. Thank you both for your argument.
Everybody seated, come to order.
Okay. There'll be order judgment in court. Ms. Jennifer Rosenbaum, will you please stand? There'll be order judgment in court that count 3 be vacated and count 6. That count 5 be vacated and count 6. As to count 6, you'll be sentenced to a term of life in prison. As to count 7, it's vacated to count 6. As to counts 10 through 41, will be sentenced to a term of 20 years to serve. Those 20 years will be served concurrent with each other and consecutive to the sentence pronounced for count number 6. As to counts 42 through 47, will be sentenced to a term of 20 years. Those sentences will run concurrent with each other and consecutive to count number 10. As to count number 48 and 49, you're to receive 10-year prison sentences, and those are to run concurrent with each other and concurrent with the other sentences that the court has imposed. All told, this is a life sentence. plus 40 years to serve in a state penitentiary. You have 30 days from today's date to file a notice of appeal. You have 4 years from today's date to seek any habeas relief that you deem appropriate under the circumstances of this case. You may be seated. Mr. Joseph Rosenbaum, please stand. It will be the order of judgment of this court to be sentenced to a term of 30 years in the state penitentiary. As to count number 8, count 9 will be vacated in count number 8. As to counts 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 22, 23, 26, 27, 30, 31, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. You'll be sentenced to a term of 20 years to serve in the state penitentiary. Those sentences are to run concurrent with the sentence that's been pronounced in count number 8. As it relates to count 48, you're sentenced to a term of 10 years on probation to run consecutive to the sentences pronounced in counts 12 through 47. And as to count number 49, you're sentenced to a term of 10 years on probation to run consecutive to count number 48. All told, yours is a 50-year sentence with 30 years to serve in the state penitentiary. Sentence having been pronounced, you may have a seat. I should also say the same to you that I said to Mrs. Rosenbaum, that you will have 30 days from today's date to file a notice of appeal. You'll have 4 years from today's date to file for any habeas relief that you deem appropriate under the circumstances. There are a lot of counts here. Let me just double check with the state and with the defense that we have covered them appropriately in terms of completeness and in terms of calculation.
Yes, Judge. It appears that all the counts for which they convicted, they were sentenced on.
All right, and the pronouncement as calculated appears to be correct.
And Judge, if I could just add one thing regarding the merger. One of the reasons why the counts merged into the felony murder is because that was the act that actually caused the death. The other actions in the indictment on November 17th were not the cause of death. They were simply other injuries that were on the child.
All right, and so I've correctly stated your position regarding what counts are to be vacated.
That's correct.
All right, and let me just also add that it is deeply frustrating for the court to hear family members of the defendants quarrel with the verdict that was rendered in this case. This case was carefully tried. And I'm deeply concerned of the lack of recognition on behalf of the defendant's family of the scope of the tragedy and of the cause of the tragedy. I've lived with this case for a long time too. And I will tell you that it is one of the worst, most horrible crimes and outcomes that anyone could ever experience or dream of experiencing. And so I just want to say that I feel for and deeply pained by your loss. And I hope that you will somehow find a way to recover. Sentence hasn't been pronounced. Is there anything further from the state?
Nothing from the state.
Anything further from the defense?
You want to consider an Alabama pending appeal?
I will not. Thank you. I'll conclude this matter. Your turn.
Do you want these two papers?
Begin when you're ready.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
What's your name?
Millie.
And how do you spell Millie?
Millie.
And what's your last name?
Harold.
And how do you spell Harold?
Harrill.
And Millie, did you ever go by the name Millie Place?
Yes.
How old are you, Millie?
7.
And when's your birthday?
October 4th.
Do you have any plans for your birthday yet? No. So I'm going to see this lady right here in front of you. She's taking down everything I say, everything you say. So when you answer, you're going to have to use your voice, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So let's try that again. Do you have any plans for your birthday?
No.
Perfect. Okay. And what grade are you going into?
2nd.
Second. And what fun things have you done this summer?
We went swimming.
And who do you live with?
Mommy.
Mommy. And who else is in your house?
My 2 little sisters.
And do you have a favorite color?
Yellow.
Yellow. And what kind of fun things do you do when you're not in school?
We play outside.
Play outside. Do you like going to gymnastics?
Yes.
What kind of things do you do in gymnastics?
We do cartwheels.
Cartwheels. And how about, can you do a split?
Yes.
On both sides or one side?
One
One
side.
side. Are you working on the other side?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Millie, do you know why you're here today? Yes?
Yes.
And why are you here today?
To talk about stuff.
To talk about stuff? Okay. What stuff are you here to talk about? Well, let me ask you another way. Was there a time that you lived with Jennifer and Joseph Rosenbaum?
Yes.
Okay. When you lived with Jennifer and Joseph Rosenbaum, did anyone else live with you?
Layla.
Who's Layla?
My sister.
Was Layla older than you or younger than you?
Younger.
When you lived with Jennifer and Joseph Rosenbaum, how old were you?
5.
5? Okay. And do you remember how old Layla was?
2.
And when you lived with Jennifer Rosenbaum, what did you call Jennifer Rosenbaum?
Miss Jennifer.
Miss Jennifer? And when you lived with Joseph Rosenbaum, what did you call Joseph? Do you remember? No?
No.
So when we're talking in court today, when I say Miss Jennifer, you know we're talking about Jennifer Rosenbaum? Okay. And when I say Joseph, I'll be talking about Joseph Rosenbaum. Okay? Does that work for you? Yes?
Yes.
Now, when you lived with Miss Jennifer and Joseph, did you have your own bedroom?
No.
Who did you share a bedroom with?
Layla.
Layla. And what do you remember about your bedroom?
We had bunk beds.
Did you like the bunk beds?
Yes.
Do you remember anything else you had in your room? No?
No.
And do you remember what was on the front door of the house?
A sign that had an R on it.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Millie, I'm going to show you, this picture has a sticker on it. It says State's Exhibit 105. Do you know what that's a picture of?
The house.
And what is on the, when you say the house, what house are you talking about?
The house that I used to live in.
And who lived in that house with you?
Layla.
And who else lived in the house?
Jennifer and Joseph.
And now I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 6. And do you recognize the picture?
Yes.
And how do you recognize it?
It's the door.
The door of what?
The house.
The house? Okay. And what house was that?
The house that we used to live in.
And you say used to live in. Who lived in the house?
Jennifer, me, Layla, and Joseph.
Your Honor, at this time I tender State's Exhibits 105 and 106 into evidence and ask permission to publish. Now I put 105, and is this the house you said you lived in with Joseph and Jennifer?
Yes.
And now 106. You see the picture behind you? Okay. And is that the front door?
I don't know.
Do you recognize what's on the front door?
Yes.
Okay. And how do you recognize it?
I saw it
And you saw it where?
on the door.
The door of what?
The house.
Okay. And what house?
The house that we used to live in.
Was that the house you lived in with Joseph and Jennifer?
Yes.
Now, when you lived with Joseph and Jennifer, was there anything you liked about it?
Yes.
And what did you like?
That the front door was red.
Front door was red. Okay. Was there anything else you liked?
No.
When you lived with Joseph and Jennifer, was there anything you didn't like?
Yes.
What are some of the things you didn't like?
That the bathroom was really small.
The bathroom was really small. And did you ever have a party at Noah's Ark?
Yes.
Did you like the party?
Yes.
What was the party for?
My 5th birthday?
Fifth birthday? Could it have been your 4th birthday?
Yes.
Now, when you were living with Joseph and Jennifer, would you take a bath, a shower, something else?
A bath.
A bath. And when you took a bath, did you take it with Layla or by yourself?
With Layla.
And would someone be in the bathroom to help Layla take her bath?
Yes.
Would Jennifer help you and Layla take baths?
Yes.
Would Joseph ever help with the baths?
He helped with Layla's bath.
He helped with Layla's bath. And how come you didn't help with your bath?
I don't know.
Could you do your own bath?
Yes.
How about, could you dress yourself when you were living with Jennifer and Joseph?
Yes.
What about Layla? Could she dress herself?
No.
If Layla couldn't dress herself, who would help Layla dress herself?
Jennifer.
Would Joseph ever help Layla dress herself?
Yes.
Now, when you went to bed, did someone put you to bed, help you go to sleep?
Yes.
And who helped you go to sleep?
Jennifer.
Would Joseph ever help you go to sleep?
Sometimes.
This might be a silly question, but when you took a bath, did you have any clothes on?
Yes.
You had clothes when you took a bath?
No.
How about Layla, when she took a bath, did you have any clothes on?
No.
And when Layla was they helped Layla get dressed, did she have any clothes on?
No.
Did Layla wear panties or a diaper or something else?
A diaper.
And what about you? Did you wear a diaper?
Panties.
Panties. When you were living with Jennifer and Joseph, did you ever see Jennifer and Joseph fighting?
No.
Did you ever see Jennifer and Joseph arguing?
No.
When you lived there, did you ever hear Jennifer and Joseph arguing?
No.
When you lived with Jennifer and Joseph, did Jennifer ever talk loudly?
Yes.
When you lived with Jennifer and Joseph, did Joseph ever talk loudly?
Yes.
When Jennifer was talking loudly, who would she talk loudly to?
Me and Layla.
And how come she was talking loudly to you and Layla?
Because she was mad.
And how come she was mad? Let me ask you this. When What would Jennifer get mad at Layla about?
A lot of things.
A lot of things? And when Jennifer would get mad at Layla about a lot of things, what kind of things are those, Millie? You can turn and look at me over here a little bit. What kind of things would Jennifer get mad at Layla about? Millie, you said Jennifer would get mad at Layla about a lot of things. Do you know what those things were?
I know that she got mad at her for a lot of things, but I don't really know what they were.
Okay. And when Jennifer got mad at you, what did she get mad at you about?
Me not getting dressed fast enough.
Millie, when you wouldn't get dressed fast enough and Jennifer was angry, what would happen?
I would get a spanking
And when you would get a spanking, where on your body would you get a spanking?
on my butt.
And when you got a spanking on your butt, what did Jennifer use to give you a spanking?
Her hand,
Would Jennifer use anything else to give you spankings?
a belt,
Would Jennifer use anything else to give you spankings other than a belt and her hands?
no,
And when Jennifer gave you spankings with a belt, where would you be in the house?
in her room,
And when Jennifer would give you spankings in her room, where would Joseph be?
he would be like all over the house.
He would be all over the house. Would he ever be in Jennifer's room when you got spankings?
Yes,
What did Joseph do in Jennifer's room when you were getting spankings?
nothing,
Did Layla ever get spankings?
yes,
And who gave Layla spankings?
Jennifer,
And on what part of Layla's body did she get spankings?
same place,
Same place as you?
Mhm.
Is that the butt?
yes,
Is that the butt you said?
yes,
And when Layla got spankings, what room did Layla get spankings in?
the same room,
Is that Jennifer's room?
yes,
And when Layla would get spankings in Jennifer's room on the butt, what would Jennifer use?
same things,
Is that the hand and the belt?
yes,
And when Layla was getting spankings, where would Joseph be?
in the room,
And what would Joseph do?
nothing,
Would Joseph say anything?
no,
Was Joseph awake?
yes,
Now, would Joseph ever spank?
no,
Would Joseph ever spank Layla?
no,
Now, what would you get in trouble about at Jen and Joseph's house? Let me ask you this. What kinds of things did Jennifer not want you to do? I'm going to ask you a different way, okay? Was there anything, did you ever go on car rides with Joseph and Jennifer?
yes,
And when you went on car rides, was there something that you weren't supposed to do in the car?
sleep,
How come you weren't supposed to sleep?
I don't know,
When you went on car rides with Joseph and Jennifer, what were the things Layla wasn't supposed to do?
yes,
And what were those things?
sleep in the car,
What would happen if you slept in the car?
you would get a spanking,
And did you ever get a spanking for sleeping in the car?
yes,
Did Layla ever get a spanking for sleeping in the car?
yes,
And when you got the spankings from sleeping in the car, where were you? What room did it happen, or place?
In her room.
You said her room. Is that Jennifer's room?
Yes.
And did Joe know about you not? Did Joe know you weren't supposed to sleep in the car?
Yes.
Now, how did the spankings feel to your body?
It hurt.
When you got the spankings to your body, were your clothes on or off or something else?
Sometimes they were on, sometimes they were off.
Sometimes when you got spankings, would the belt touch your skin?
Yes.
Now, when Layla got spankings, were her clothes on or off or something else?
Same thing.
Same thing. When Layla got spankings, would the belt sometimes touch her skin?
Yes.
Did Layla ever hurt her leg when you were living with the Rosenbaums?
Yes.
Do you know how she hurt her leg?
In gymnastics.
Gymnastics? And were you there when she hurt her leg at gymnastics?
Yes.
And who told you her leg got hurt at gymnastics?
I don't remember.
Did Layla have to have a cast on her leg?
Yes.
How come she had to have a cast on her leg?
Because she broke it.
And how did she broke it? Do you know?
She fell off a gymnastics bar.
And did someone tell you that's how she broke her leg?
Yes.
Who told you that?
Girl, that's why you can ask and answer. She said she didn't remember.
Hello.
You can tell us who told you that. Let me ask you this. Did Layla tell you that's how she hurt herself?
No.
Did Joseph tell you that?
No.
Did Jennifer tell you that?
No.
Do you remember who told you that?
No.
Now, you went to the hospital one day?
Yes.
Do you remember the day that Layla died?
Yes.
And on that day, did you go to the hospital?
Yes.
Now, right before you went to the hospital, where were you?
At the house.
When you say at the house, was that Jen and Joseph's house?
Yes.
And what were you doing at the house before you went to the hospital?
Eating.
And what was Layla doing?
Eating.
And who was in the house when you were eating?
Jennifer.
Where was Joseph?
He was in the house too.
Okay. And when you said you were eating, and then what happened when you were eating?
I went upstairs.
And what did you do upstairs?
I watched TV.
Do you remember what you watched on TV?
Paw Patrol.
And when you went upstairs to watch TV, were you done eating?
Yes.
And when you were upstairs watching TV, did you hear anything downstairs?
No.
What is the next thing you remember after, what's the next thing you remember after watching Paw Patrol?
Jennifer told me to come downstairs.
When she told you to come downstairs, did she come up and get you, or did she just use her words?
She used her words.
Where was Jennifer when she told you to come downstairs?
At the bottom of the stairs.
And when Jennifer told you to come downstairs, did you go downstairs?
Yes.
And when you went downstairs, where was Layla?
I don't remember.
And when you came downstairs, what did you do next?
We got in the car.
When you say we, who's we?
Jennifer and me.
And where did you go?
To the hospital.
Now when you were, I'm going to step back a little, you said you were eating earlier that night before you went to the hospital?
Yes.
Was Layla eating too?
Yes.
At that time, how did Layla eat? Did she use her hands, a fork and a spoon, or something else? Layla in a chair or a high chair or something else?
A high chair.
And where was Jennifer when she was by Layla?
She was helping her eat.
Was Jennifer sitting or standing or something else?
Sitting.
Now, how do you feel about talking about the day that Layla died?
Kinda sad.
And how do you feel talking about living at the Rosenbaum's house?
Same thing.
Do you like talking about living at the Rosenbaum's house?
No.
Do you remember ever going to a Miss Ann's office?
Yes.
And how did you feel about going to Miss Ann's office?
Good.
What kind of things would you do at Ann's office?
We talked about the same thing.
And what other things would you do?
She had a sandbox that I would play in.
When you said you would talk about the same thing, what thing are we talking? What thing do you mean?
About living at the Rosenbaums.
And do you still see Miss Ann?
No.
Do you instead see a Miss Donna?
Yes.
And does Miss Donna come to your house, or do you go to her?
She comes to my house.
And what do you and Miss Donna do when she comes to your house?
We read books and we watch calming videos.
You read books and watch calming videos? And do you remember someone named Kyle Lambert?
Yes.
And who's Kyle Lambert?
Somebody that I used to live with.
Is she a child or an adult?
Adult.
And do you remember Miss Larita Brown?
No.
Do you remember Lucas?
No.
Do you remember Michelle Chapman?
Yes.
Do you remember Anthony Chapman? Let me ask you this. Do you remember Michelle's husband?
No.
And do you remember Tiffany Shaw?
No.
And who is Peggy Banks?
My great-grandmother.
And what do you call her?
Nana.
Was there a time that you lived with Miss Nana?
Yes.
When you lived at Nana's, what kind of things would you do?
We would watch TV.
Would you do anything else at Nana's house?
I would play with the dollhouse.
Would Layla ever go to Nana's house with you?
Yes.
After you lived with the Rosenbaums, who did you live with next? If you remember.
I don't remember.
And now, do you like where you're living now?
Yes.
Do you like living with your sisters?
Yes.
Do you... Now let me ask you this. You said that you had a bunk bed?
Yes.
And where in the bunk bed did you sleep?
On the top.
On the top? Did you always sleep on the top?
Yes.
And Layla, where would she sleep?
On the bottom.
Were there ever times Layla didn't sleep in the bunk bed?
No.
Were there ever times that you didn't sleep in the bunk bed?
No.
Would Layla ever get up at night and cry?
No.
No. What about you? Would you ever get up at night?
No.
When you took naps, where would you take naps?
On the bunk beds.
On the bunk bed? Would you take naps ever in the living room?
No.
Would you ever take naps or fall asleep in Jen's room?
No.
How about Layla? Did Layla take naps?
Yes.
And
No.
do you see Miss Joseph here in court today? If you need to stand up, you can.
Yes.
You do? Okay. And where is he? Witnesses identified Jennifer Rosenbaum. Okay, Millie, I have no more questions for you right now. But Miss Corrine might have some questions.
Okay, and Millie, I got some questions to ask you,
Okay.
okay? And I want you to answer me.
Yes.
And what are you doing now in gymnastics?
Cartwheels?
Do cartwheels?
No.
Do you remember trying to teach Layla how to do other gymnastics?
No.
No, you don't? What is that a picture of?
Layla going down the slide.
And who's beside her?
Me.
And who took you to the park? Did Miss Jennifer take you to the park?
I don't know.
You don't? Okay. I'm going to show you what I've marked as exhibits 31, 33, 34, 35, and 36. Tell me, if you would, what those pictures are of.
The closet.
The closet where?
At the house.
In whose room?
Ours. A mini kitchen. The train set. Another train set.
Another train set.
And then the bunk beds.
Are these all in your room at the Rosenbaums?
Yes.
Did you like your room at the Rosenbaums?
Yes.
Tender into evidence, defendant's exhibit 33, 35, 36, 37, and 31. Stipulated dates of July 21st, 2015. No, Judge.
Okay.
If I'm going to publish your own.
Okay.
Tell us what that is.
The closet.
And whose clothes and shoes are those?
Me and Layla's.
And who got those clothes for you? Do you remember?
No.
31. Now, what is this a picture of, Millie?
The bunk beds.
Okay. And do y'all like playing on the bunk beds?
Yes.
Did you jump on the bunk beds?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. And sometimes, you slept on the bottom. Did sometimes Layla jump on the bottom bed as well as the top bed?
She only jumped on the bottom.
On the bottom bed. And several times, isn't it true, Millie, that she would bump up against this, correct? Against this ledge.
I don't remember.
Do you remember her saying that her head hurt when she bumped her head on the ledge?
No.
Do you remember Jennifer telling you not to jump on the beds?
No.
She told you it was okay to jump on the beds? Did she tell you it was all right to jump on the beds?
No.
No, okay. Tell me about what is in this picture, Millie.
A train set.
And what kind of a train set is that?
Some blocks.
Blocks. Did you like playing with that?
Yes.
And what do we see beside the train set?
The TV.
Okay. You had a TV in your room?
Yes.
And were you allowed to watch it?
Yes.
When were you allowed to watch it? Were you allowed to watch it any time?
No.
Were you allowed to watch it in the mornings when there were cartoons on?
I don't know.
And what is this a picture of?
The kitchen,
Okay, whose kitchen was that?
me and Layla's,
Okay, and what's in front of the kitchen?
a shopping cart.
Okay, and who did that belong to?
Both of us.
Tell me, did anybody else live at the house with you? With the Rosenbaums? Did anybody ever come and stay?
No.
No? Did they have 2 dogs?
I don't remember.
You don't remember Ptolemy?
No.
Okay. Let me show you what I've marked as Defendant's Exhibit 40 and ask you if you can identify that.
That's me and Layla standing in front of the door.
Standing in front of what door?
The front door?
Front door, okay. At this time, I would tender Defendant's Exhibit 40 with a stipulated date of July 31st, 2015.
Excuse me, no objection.
Admitted.
May I publish it?
Yes.
Now, which one is you here, Millie?
The one closest to the door.
Okay. And what are you doing?
We were getting ready for bed.
Oh, okay. And that's what you slept in to go to bed?
Yes.
At this time, Your Honor, I would tender Defendant's Exhibit 40 with a stipulated date of July 31st, 2015. May I publish?
Has 40 been admitted? It's been admitted. 40's been admitted. That's 40, correct?
Yeah. Thank you. I want to show you what's been marked as Defendants 42 and 43. To see if you can identify those.
It's me at a Chick-fil-A party. And then me and Layla are jumping on bouncy houses.
Okay, and where was the bouncy house? Do you remember?
There was a festival at Chick-fil-A.
Okay. And how did you get to the festival?
We drove.
You drove, okay. I would tender 42 and 43 into evidence with stipulated date of August 1st, 2015.
No objection.
Admitted. 42 and 43.
May I publish? Now, Millie, tell us, what is that on your face?
A butterfly.
Who put it there?
We got our face painted.
Did you ask for a butterfly?
Yes.
Did you like what you got?
Yes.
I'm going to show you the other picture. And what are you and Layla doing there?
Jumping on a bouncy house.
I'm going to show you what I've marked as defendants 45, 46, and 47. Take a look at that and see if you can identify those pictures.
This is me and Layla standing by horses. This is us standing by a minion hay bale. And then Layla, I don't know what that machine is.
You don't know what that machine is, but what is Layla, who's it a picture of?
Layla.
Okay. At this time, I will tender into the record defendants 45, 46, and 47 with a stipulated date of September 19th, 2015.
No objection.
Admitted.
May I publish?
Admitted.
Millie, what was going on here?
We were standing by 2 horses
And do you know where that was?
at the petting zoo.
Okay, was that at the Fall Festival?
Yes.
And where did you get those dresses? Do you remember?
No.
What is this a picture of?
Layla.
And this?
That's a picture of me and Layla standing by a hay bale.
That's a hay bale? Why does he have just one eye?
I don't know.
Now, you said that you had baths with Millie a lot, is that right? With Layla?
Yes,
Because who are you?
Millie.
Millie, okay. Look at numbers 50 and 56. 50, let me just show you 50 first and ask you, what is this a picture of?
Me at gymnastics.
Okay, and what is number 56 a picture of?
Me and Layla in the bathtub.
So at this time, I would tender into evidence defendants exhibit 50 and 56. 50 having a stipulated date of September 21st, 2015, and 56 having a date of October 4th, 2015.
No objection.
You may close.
I'm going to show you pictures, defendants exhibit 60, 61, and 62. And see if you recognize that.
Me at my birthday party
And where was your birthday party?
at Noah's Ark.
What is,
Me getting ready to open presents. Me opening the presents.
I would tender into evidence 60, 61, and 62, all with dates of October 17th, 2015, and ask them to close.
No objection.
You may close.
What is that a picture of?
Me at my birthday party?
And who's standing with you? Do you know?
No,
You don't remember who those people are?
no.
Who is that a picture of?
Me standing by presents.
Okay. And what are you wearing, Millie?
An Elsa costume?
An Elsa costume. You like Elsa?
Yes,
Is she your favorite?
it used to be.
Used to be. Okay. Let me show you Defendant's Exhibit 61. What's going on in this picture?
I'm sitting getting ready to open presents.
And who's with you?
Nana.
And can you show us which one is Nana?
The one in the black. The one in the black sweater.
What is this picture again?
Me and Layla in the bathtub.
Okay. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about gymnastics. This is you at gymnastics, is that right?
Yes,
And what kind of things did you do at gymnastics there?
cartwheels.
You did cartwheels back then too?
Yes,
When you lived with the Rosenbaums?
yes,
Okay, so now do you do them really well?
yes.
Okay. What else did you do there?
We did somersaults.
Okay. Did you do tumbling?
Yes,
Did you hang on the bars?
yes.
I'm going to show you a number of pictures, and I want you to see if you can identify them for me.
Okay.
Okay? The first one I'm especially curious to know what it is. What is that?
It's me at a Grinch party.
It's you
And the Grinch.
and the Grinch. Who else is there? Who are you dressed as?
Cindy Lou Who.
And Cindy Lou Who. So you're Millie Lou Who?
Yes.
Okay, and who's the other picture of?
Me on my bed.
And the other picture?
Me on my bed.
Thank you. At this time, I will tender into evidence defendants 51, 63, and 64, with dates of November of 2015 and September of 2015.
What dates were those? Mayor, I have no objection to this recording information.
What dates are tied to what pictures?
Okay. Defendant's Exhibit 51 is September 23rd, 2015. Defendant's Exhibit 64 is November 7th, 2015. And Defendant's Exhibit 63 is November 4th, 2015. Millie, let's look at these pictures, and you tell me, you look very happy there, right?
Yes.
What are you doing that's making you so happy? Were you just happy that day?
Yes.
Let's look at Defendant's Exhibit 64 and explain to us how that hair got the way it did.